Welcome back, guys. Had a little intro song.
There we go. New intro song. Killer.
I wrote that up this week because I was kind of thinking we needed something. I'll get my drink over here. We kind of needed a little intro song, but today, second episode of Be Good to Your Brother, we have a guest, Mr. Noah Lutes. If you'd like to come in
Mr.
here.
Noah, come on in. Take your seat there.
Take your seat. Get you some water.
Get settled in.
How you doing today, Mr. Lutes?
Doing solid.
Doing solid. How's life been recently? You want to introduce yourself to the podcast?
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Noah Lutes. I'm an AKU student and teaching education major. So, and a longtime fan of these two guys. So.
Yeah,
that's right.
Noah played football with us and grew up with us, brothers.
So yeah, we had a pretty good day today. We'll talk about that a little bit. As we said last week, this guy over here, he's getting married. What did you say? 80 days.
Getting married in 80 days as of today, the time of recording.
80 days, and we kind of
very excited for that.
Kind of balled out today. We went and got fitted for. I about said tuxes, but we got fitted for suits.
Balled out.
Apparently, there's a difference between suits and tuxes.
We went and got our suits ready. We're gonna have them picked up soon and be one step closer to being married.
Yep.
Big fun.
What's the topic for this week?
So we're going to be talking about the do it anyway mentality, and we're going to hit on accountability some more. We're going to talk about having an accountability partner. That'll be our two main, I guess, systems of self-improvement for today's conversation. Gabe, I'll let you share your do it anyway.
My do it anyway story?
Yeah, just tell us about how that came to.
Okay. So I had this idea about 9:30 Wednesday night. We didn't have church. This Wednesday was kind of weird for me. We didn't have church Wednesday night because we got snowed out. We had a big flood storm, and we had a big snowstorm come hit us this past week. Hit us really rough. I mean, you might be able to see some snow out the window.
See the snow out there.
Maybe a little bit, but we got hit hard by it. And so we called off church Wednesday night, and just because it was too dangerous to get out and drive and stuff. But my grandpa, he's been in the hospital recently. Shout out Papa. He was listening yesterday. Him and Mom were listening to last week's podcast yesterday in the hospital. But he's been in the hospital here recently, so I went and saw him Wednesday night, and I was going to spend the night over there with him, but it just didn't happen. So me, Mom, Dad, we went out to eat at Roadhouse, and I chowed down. I mean, I had a bunch of rolls, had a lot of food, had a lot of peanuts, had a big baked potato.
Big feast.
Chicken tenders, I mean, everything. But, I mean, I just engulfed that night. But just this wave of guilt hit over me because I was supposed to run 7 miles on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I was at the house, school or EKU got canceled, so I was just at the house, and I got out and I just did 2 miles. I'm like, well, I'll try to catch up this weekend, these extra 5 miles, or I'll try to catch up. I'll do two more tomorrow and 2 more the next day, or just something like that. And I'm sitting there, I just eat that meal, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, man, I probably should go to the rec and just go run anyways. Then I was just kind of fighting with myself in my head. Then we're walking out, and I see Braden Delaware. Yeah, he's a little older than me, but he's kind of went on the same journey as me. He lost a lot of weight at one point in his life too. But him and his wife were sitting there eating, and I talked to him a little bit, and he said, "Gabe, did you run today?" I said, "Yeah, but I'm about to go to the rec and finish it." Because I mean, I just made up in my mind right there. It's like, I gotta go finish it because I didn't do it all the way. So I went to the rec, and I saw a couple buddies there. They were playing ball. Talked to them for a little bit, and so I went up in the rec, got on the treadmill for 2 miles. My plan was treadmill 2 miles, and they have an indoor track for 3 miles. That's what my plan was. So I get on the treadmill. About 1.5 miles on the treadmill, it hits me. All that food that I just ate at Roadhouse hits me. And it's coming back rough. So I get off the treadmill, and it's just it was a battle from then on. Just that whole 3 miles. I mean, it was just a constant, just battle. It was like, well, do I quit? Do I quit? Do I quit? Just pain, pain, pain. But I did it anyways. There were some other people up there. They were up on the treadmills. They were grinding. All these people in there trying to better themselves. And there was this girl we went to school with. I can't quite remember her name, but she was up there running too. She was a little younger than us, but she was up there on the track running too. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. I don't care how much pain I'm in.
There you go.
I got a responsibility to do, so I might as well do it. So that was my kind of story. Then I got in the car, and just like an overwhelming, just like relief came over me. It's like I did it, because I don't know. It was just like one of them mentalities. I'll text out, or I'll read out what I texted you that night. Let me pull it up here.
There's a lot to unpack there. You've got like.
I know.
You hit a little bit on like everything I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it was a good intro, but I said the topic for this week: if the world's got you down and out, you have a job or responsibility to do it anyways. And I mean, that was just the being tired and lazy and overeating. That was what had me down and out. But I got it done, and I did it anyways. So that was kind of my experience this week. And then I felt great that day. The next day I had a pretty good run. It was still cold outside, so I did the same thing. I had 7 more miles on the day. So I did 2 on the treadmill, 3 around the track, and then 2 more on the treadmill to finish out. That was Thursday. Then yesterday I just did 2 miles. I felt like crap yesterday, but I think that was just everything weighing down on me. But I got 16 miles to run after this podcast, so hold me accountable.
Yeah.
If I don't do it.
So how are you splitting that up with the 2 miles and 3 miles? Are you just changing it up to?
Just changing scenery, really, because
That's a long time to be on a treadmill.
yeah, I hate the treadmill. I'm not a fan of a treadmill because I just sit there and you're just staring forward, and it doesn't feel like you're moving. It's just you're running in place. It just feels like you're just jumping almost.
I stare at the time too, and then I'm like, man, it's only been like 30 seconds, and I'm already gassed.
But I have my phone.
Different.
I have my phone set up on the treadmill, and I was been watching that Spider-Man show that's came out on Disney Plus, and it's okay.
There was a guy at the rec I always ran into whenever I was in school. He'd grab one of them towels and he would cover up the screen, and he was hauling. He was he was booking it on that treadmill. He always ran a lot. I talked to him one day. I was like, bro, I don't know how you run like that. And he was like, you just kind of get better at it.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess that's fair.
How you watch stuff while you run, because I'd be too out of breath to pay attention to anything.
Yeah, but I just put the headphones in, and I just kind of, that especially one of them shows you really don't have to pay a lot of attention to. You just kind of, they're fighting here. Oh, there's a little bit of a story here. I mean, it's a cartoon that's made for kids, but anywho, but that's just kind of been my first little topic. Just do it anyways. You got anything?
You said you were talking to Braden, and you decided right then that you were gonna go finish that run and get what you needed to get done for the day. That's another method we can talk about. I've heard it called a couple different things, but the thing I really like is the 1 second decision. Is if you're sitting there and you're like, well, I really don't want to go for a run, or like, but I know I need to, then make that 1 second decision and go for the run. It makes it a lot easier whenever you think this is a 1 second decision. I don't need to think about this for a long time. I need to go do my run and I can get it over with. And then you get satisfaction out of it. And that goes for everything. You can do that with the gym, just working out, or if you're at work and somebody brings in pizza or something, or donuts, and you're like, man, I really want a donut. Like, but that would throw me completely off my macros for the day. Make that 1 second decision. Don't eat the donut. Yeah. And, sometimes eat the donut. Sometimes eat the donut.
Moderation.
Moderation's everything. It's you probably don't eat donuts every day.
But enjoy yourself every now and then.
Enjoy yourself every now and then. That's good too.
I would also say that goes with being a Christian as well.
Yeah, it does. Making that split second decision is like, well, I'm waking up on Sunday morning, and it's like, I really want to get up and go to church, but let's do it. Might as well. We're up. We're ready to go and get at it.
If you're trying to sin, make that 1 second decision to abstain from whatever that sin be.
Right.
Whatever's causing you to do it, throw it away.
That's what Jesus said.
Yeah. If your right hand's causing you to sin, cut it off.
Gouge your eye out. Your right eye out.
Yeah. But.
And getting that stuff done that you know you need to get done though. That's the best way to build confidence in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you kind of work it up, make it bigger in your head than it really is.
Mm-hmm.
If you just get it done, you're gonna build confidence in yourself, and then the next time you face that struggle, you're gonna have even more confidence, and you're gonna say, "Well, I did it yesterday."
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I was getting into running a little more, you inspired me, and that was whenever you were running 2 miles a day, every day, and it's like I don't know how he does that. I probably could hardly run 1 mile, and I was like, "Screw it, I'm gonna run 2 miles today," and I ran 2 miles, and then tomorrow I was gonna run 2 miles again, and it seemed impossible the next day, but I was like, it seemed impossible yesterday, and I did
Mm-hmm.
it. It's you build discipline, you kind of callous your mind. I think we mentioned that or maybe I wanted to mention that last week. There's a part of your brain that is it helps you do hard things, and the more hard things you do, the more you develop that part of your brain. And they say David Goggins has like the biggest, I forget the word for it, and it's we should have Caleb in here. Caleb would have known.
The umagtama,
Yeah.
whatever it's
Oblongata.
oblongata, whatever it's called, I don't know.
Medulla oblongata.
But I like that point you made. Were you about to say something? Okay, but I like that point you made about the 1 second decision, because a lot of times, well, I can relate back to it as even as yesterday. I know I talk about running a lot, but that's really
That's your thing, though.
That's a big part of my life that I'm trying to stay consistent to. But like yesterday, I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I'll do this after I watch this show. I'll do this, and it's like you just got to get up and do it. You just got to make that split second decision and just get up and do it and get after it, because one, it's over. Once it's over, you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. Once you get your job done, you don't have to worry about it. Once you get your responsibility done, you don't have to worry about it until the next time it comes up again. It's like today, I've just kind of been I could have woke up early this morning and went and ran that 16 miles, but I didn't want to.
I thought you would. I really thought you would. I was ready to feel like a wimp whenever you got in the truck this morning. I figured you'd be like, "Yeah, I ran 16 miles this morning." I was gonna be like, "Yeah, I slept in until like 8."
I thought you were gonna run it right before you came here.
Yeah.
For this podcast, I was like, "Dang, man."
Before we fired up, Noah was like, "What Gabe say you had to go do?" And I told him he had to go grab the camera. I come back upstairs, and Noah was like, "What was Gabe gonna go do?" I was like, "He's going to grab the camera." He's like, "Oh, I thought he was running." I was like, "No, I'd be taking a nap right now if he had to go run."
No, it's gonna take me a while to do that tonight, but
you'll get it done.
It's one of them things. It's a part of the plan. If I'm wanting to succeed on April 26th, I mean, I have to do runs like today on February 21st.
Yeah.
So that's just one of them things I got to do, and it's gonna take a lot of time, and it's gonna take a lot of building up to do it. But it's just one of the things that you got to do. You got to get done. And so, with everybody, like how we were kind of mentioned earlier, it's like even if you don't want to do it, even if like you feel like you're being weighed down by everything else, it's just one of the things you got to do. And sometimes in life you have those responsibilities. You just have to do it. So.
I try to have a couple days in the week where I actually go to the gym, and I do like the equipment and more isolated exercises, and I'll have days in the week where I just work out at home and I just do big compound movements. And I like kettlebells now too. I'm getting big into kettlebells, but the biggest thing is all like through the week after work, I'm like, I do not want to stop at the gym and deal with the 4 o'clock gym, because that's terrible. Like some days I don't go because I can't park there.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be too crowded in there to do anything. But then like Saturday and Sunday will come around. I'll be like, okay, I need to get up in the morning. I need to go to the gym. And I'm like, well, I'd have to drive all the way to the gym. My gym's in Richmond.
Yeah.
I live 30 minutes, probably 40 minutes away from it. It's all the way by the interstate. Just get in your car, go do it. I need to get better about that, but I need to just get in the car and go do it.
No, I'm guilty of that as well.
Once you're in the car, it's easier.
Yeah, once you're in the car, I mean, well.
Up until then, it's like, I can't do that. And you get in the car, and it's like, okay.
Because I tell myself all the time, I was like, well, if the gym was closer, I'd go do it. But how realistic is that, me even saying that?
Yeah.
Because it's a 20-minute drive there, but, like, I don't. It's just one of them things I really don't want to do. It's hard work. Why do I want to go drive 20 minutes to go do hard work? But I don't know. It's just one of them things you got to get up and do it. Then I also make the excuse. I'm like, well, I did my run today. That's enough. But it's like, well, your upper body's struggling because you're not working it out as much. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But
you said that a lot last week, but we're on a podcast.
That's true.
We can talk about whatever we want, bro.
That's
we
true.
make the rules.
That's right.
Real quick while I'm thinking about it, I do want to address something I said a lot last week. I talk a lot about value. I think I mentioned that like 6 or 7 times last week. And value is something I think about a lot. I took economics in school. It was one of my core required classes for engineering, which I thought was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I took an economics class, and I had the professor in there. He was really cool. He was an older guy, like definitely a little conservative, but he talked about value a lot.
Yeah.
He's big on that. He was like, there's a lot more involved in value than you really think. I mean, you deal with value all the time. Everything's transactional, and like, you got to think about what you're getting out of whatever you're doing all the time. So I keep it value in mind. I like to try to think about the value I'm getting out of whatever it is I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's work or exercises. Sometimes I'll like see something on TikTok, some complicated exercise, like some fancy way to do curls on a decline bench, and I'll try to do it, and then I'm like, okay, I could have done like 5 sets of just hammer curls and
got the same out of it.
Got the same out of it. And
yeah.
It's not worth all the setup and looking goofy at the gym.
Yeah.
So decline, trying to. Yeah.
But you got anything to add about just getting up and doing it?
Yeah, well, I was mainly want to, I guess, touch on just the Christian part of it, I mean, it just, like you were talking about sinning, like that split second, or that right before you're going to sin, just think about it. Like,
fight that temptation.
Yes, and and not only that, but it just goes into everything we do, like, whether that's, like, getting up for church, just, even for school for me, like, sometimes I've got the choice to, like, I can stay on my phone or watch TV, or I can do homework, and a lot of times I've found myself watching TV or playing 2K or whatever, but it's just
guilty of that.
It's just the better thing to do, like Gabe said. Once you do it, man, you'll be thankful that you done it when you done it instead of putting it off.
I did that this morning. I wanted to work out before we went to Lexington this morning. I woke up and I didn't want to do it. And at like 8 o'clock, I was like, man, I don't have time to work out. And then I was sitting there and I was like, I'm drinking coffee and I'm on TikTok. I can go work out.
Yeah.
And so I went downstairs and I drank coffee and worked out, which was bad bowel movement halfway through my workout. But I got my workout done. I got some good heavy rows in.
Yeah.
I did 225 on rows. It's the heaviest I've gone. They were not clean.
Like bent over rows?
Bent over rows, yeah.
Good.
Heavy
Shout out
rows.
Drew Barnett.
Shout out to Drew Barnett. Big time.
He loved them things, didn't he?
He loved rows. He'd always make us put our friggin' heads against a wall, too. He's like, now you're engaging your back. Like, I didn't want to.
What a guy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you get it done and you feel better after. It's ice bath is big for that, dude.
Yeah.
You do not, there's nothing fun about an ice bath. But whenever you get out, you feel incredible. A big dopamine hit and adrenaline, noradrenaline. I won't get into all that. I don't know anything about it. I've heard Andrew Huberman talk about it, though. Huberman Lab. That's a good podcast.
I don't know.
That's a good podcast. If you're listening right now, stop. Go listen to Andrew Huberman. He's way
Hey, you can wait till it's over before you leave.
Yeah, give us another 45 minutes. Then go listen to Huberman Lab.
Well, we got to get 12 podcasts before we start making money on it anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got to upload 12 before we start getting monetized.
Well, let's cut them down to 30 minutes.
Split them in half.
We'll get there in twice the time.
No, like we said last week, the reason we're doing this is because we like doing it, not for any other reason. We're going to do it as long as we're having fun doing it, and it's one of the things that keeps us accountable. That was one of our 3 A's we mentioned last week. Some of our core values is accountability. So this keeps us accountable, having new people on and just talking and just getting together with one another keeps us accountable. So I think it's good.
We can go ahead and talk about our accountability partners.
Accountability partners?
Get into that. Just speaking of which, because I feel like you're my accountability partner now, like, especially now that we're doing this.
Yeah.
I guess me and Noah have been accountability partners for you for a while now. You've been posting your runs and sending them to us. That's one simple way. Just share it on social media. If you've got something you're trying to do, and like a lot of people go to the gym with their buddy or whatever, or a coworker, they just go after work. That helps you push each other, because it's so easy to sandbag yourself.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you're just going to the gym by yourself, because you're like, I can't do 225 on bench by myself. I'll break my neck. You'd probably be fine. You can do it.
Yeah.
You want to give us what's the definition of an accountability partner?
An accountability partner, I guess, is just somebody that you're either working with or working with to keep yourself accountable. Keep them accountable. Kind of share your troubles.
Yeah.
Share the load of whatever you're working with and help each other out.
I have a few, I guess. TK, Tom.
TK.
Shout out Tom. He's the one.
Shout out.
He's the one that came up with this idea about that accountability partner. So I want to shout him out in it. But I guess I have a few accountability partners. I got you two for sure.
Yeah.
Like you said, how we started doing this podcast.
Mr. Knopp.
Mr.
Mr.
Knopp
Knopp's
as
in there.
well. But like I mentioned last week, I take that Snapchat and I send it out. Send it out to them every day for 500, and today's 566. So I'll send one tonight once I get done. But I got them. They keep me accountable. I got the people from church that keep me accountable. That keep me wanting to do things and keeping me up and off my butt. And whether people know it or not, I see other people working too. That holds me accountable. I see there's people at the gym that I've never talked to, but I see them in there every day.
Yeah.
And they're working hard.
That's real. The people that you don't talk to at the gym, you just walk past them and you may give them a nod every now and then.
Yeah. And I see them and I'm like, well, if they're in here working every day, I'm in here working every day. That's great, because we're both getting better. I mean, I don't even have a clue what their name is. But I see them in there all the time, and they're getting better. So just like people like that, I got respect for people like that I see they're always trying to better themselves, like I try to. So I got people like that. I mentioned some people from church. I got Cole and Andrew. They always help me out with things and keep me accountable and they're always offering help to do things with me. So it's just finding a solid group of people, or even just one person that just has the same mindset as you when it comes to work ethic, that's willing to work hard, that's willing to really try to be the best they can be, because if you got those people around you, you're going to succeed in whatever you do. It doesn't, like, if you have two people that work hard, you're going to succeed. I mean, there's not a lot of failure in that. I mean, you may fail every now and then.
Failure's good.
But in the long run, you're going to succeed. I mean, that's just, just see people around you. It's just what happens. If you work hard, most of the time, you will succeed from it. At least that's just my experience from it. So just having those people around you that like to work hard with you, it's a good thing.
That's the whole thing, like, show me your 5 friends and I can show you your future, You're hanging out with a bunch of bums that don't do anything, don't want to do anything, don't want to get out and get a job. They don't want to get out and get a job because that's too much. You're going to fall into that. If you've got friends that always want to go out and eat and like every night, and it's kind of ironic that we're saying that after we had fried chicken for lunch today.
Chicken and waffles.
But that's the first time we've gone out and ate together in a while. So it's I had fun though. That's moderation.
But like you were saying, if you got people that's wanting to, if you're wanting to go out and eat every night, I mean, even if they have good values and stuff, but you're going to see that money start slipping away too. I mean,
boy, it goes fast. I promise.
You dropped a band today, probably.
I did. I did.
But I thank you for that. But anywho, it's just you got to surround your people, or surround yourself with people that are willing to work hard, willing to better themselves, and willing to have things in moderation. Because I mean, you can't just have everything all the time.
Yeah, it's not a good way to live.
It's not a good way
It's
to
not a
live.
good way to live. It's not good for your health, and it's not good for your mental health at
Mhm.
all. I think we've got a huge problem with that across the country.
Yeah.
Like, we should get too political. we'll leave that at the door.
We'll save that for another
We'll
episode.
save that for another day.
But
Very
anyway.
smart, very smart.
No, you got anything to add about the accountability partners?
I'm good.
no, I'll sit this one out.
You got to go ahead with that one. I mean, I can't really say anything because I don't work out. I mean, I've been meaning to, and that's what you guys need to.
You got your own stuff. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not just working.
But it's
out.
not just working out because, like you work hard in school. You work hard. You're getting your degree right now. I mean, you got a plan. You got to plan for things. It's just not everyone. It's not realistic to ask everyone, "Hey, go push hard in the gym for 2 hours a
That's
day."
true.
I mean, it's just not realistic. It's not a realistic thing to do. What we're saying is that you need to be able to find your lane. Find
your thing.
Find your thing. What you want to do.
Big on that.
And try at it and go hard at it and work hard at it. It's because not everyone's the same person. It's unrealistic to ask like, well, I'm going to run this much every day. It's not realistic for me to ask you to go do that. I mean, it's just
right.
it's just not. So it's just finding your own thing, and like how I noticed, like-minded, not the same mind.
Yeah, not the same mind, because that's dangerous.
If you go walking around the people, if you just take the same, in any aspect of life, the same perspective from everything, that's dangerous. You need to have an open mind and take and see everything that's coming in. Then you can make your decisions based off that. So you need to have like-minded people in your close circle. Then when you can expand, that's when you can go out into different minded people and start talking to them. And anywho, I don't know where I was going with that.
I was trying to recollect my thought,
but
I was waiting for you to bring it around, but it's all right.
Weaving it in.
Weaving.
Now, we can go back to confidence with that. If you've got your group of people and you figure stuff out and make stuff happen, you're going to build an unshakable confidence in yourself. And no, I feel like you've pushed yourself a lot recently with having to get into teaching and like actually start going to classes and helping teach kids.
For sure.
That's
it's a big change, man. Because everyone knows me. I'm a very shy and quiet person.
You are. That's all right.
Even being on here, like my intro was a bit shaky, but
it's okay.
It takes me a minute to get going. But once I do,
once you get in the water, it gets a lot better.
Yeah. So, I'm thankful for that opportunity to get pushed because, I mean, we talk about it like we had that experience senior year when we got to go for the, I don't remember which station it was, but for the news for football.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I had a pretty memorable time there. I mean, I couldn't hardly, I was just so like shy in the camera, I couldn't even like hardly spell my name. I mean, I had a rough time, but you know, I thank God that He kind of brought me to where I am. So I've got a long way to go, especially if I'm going to be teaching for the rest of my life. But I'm just thankful where I am right now, and I'm just trying to continue to push myself, and that's why I'm glad to be on here with you guys. Spend time with you guys, fellowship, and talk about our goals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you impressed me coming on.
Yeah.
And you did mention Christianity. That was like was kind of part of your thing, and that's if we're going to be a show about self-improvement, I think it has to be said that if you want to change your life for the better, go to God.
That's right.
Amen.
Like there's no better. There's nothing else of any more value that you can do.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's it.
Change your life forever. I mean, never be the same. I mean, anybody I've ever talked to that's a Christian, once they find Jesus, they're never the same. They don't ever want to be the same. I mean, really, I don't. I mean, I'm just thankful to have Jesus and to have Him every day with me. Because if I didn't, I mean, it'd be a lot different. A lot different. I guess that's why we're called to, go out and spread the gospel. Because, I mean, think about people that don't have what we have, Jesus. May not even know Him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just very important.
I feel sorry for people that don't know Jesus.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important with this kind of platform we're trying to build. Is like that's important to me that we share gospel. Like that's really important to me. And there's nothing you can do in this worldly life that's better then follow God and chase Him. You have to chase Jesus. It's so important.
Well, I was going to say this for the end, our scripture, but do you want to go ahead and get into it?
We can get into it.
It's a great
We
time.
can talk about Peter in the Sea of Galilee. You said that was Matthew...
Matthew 14, 22 through the rest of it.
Yeah.
But what this story is kind of, it's a simple Bible story that we've all heard of Jesus walking on water. But let me pour up my water here.
I had a heck of a ASMR last week. I listened to it.
Did it sound nice last week?
Nice. Yeah, it sounded nice.
Yeah, I like that sound too.
Especially Jake's. Jake's was better, I'm not going to lie.
He had a better pour than I did. But anywho, the intro to this story is that, Jesus' disciples, they're out on the boat. What's the backstory about this? Is this right after
fishing.
Is this right after they fed the 5,000? Yeah, it is. Yeah. This is right after Jesus feeds the 5,000. They get the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Is that right?
That sounds right.
That's pitiful. I'm a youth minister. Don't even know that off the top
shame
of my
on
head.
me. Shame on all this.
But anywho, they get the loaves and bread, and he gives it out to the. Was it 5,000 or 3,000? There's two different. There's two different instances. One time is 3,000, but this is 5,000. Sorry. But he feeds the 5,000 people there. And so afterwards, Jesus tells them, he says in Matthew 14:22, he says, immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. So Jesus was kind of calming down the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on the mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land. Buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. So the boat went off. Jesus was still ashore. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. So Jesus walked out on the lake, and the disciples it's Casper. Right? They were scared to death. Yeah. They saw a ghost, but Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I." How powerful is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is I. Do not be afraid. He says, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Then Peter says, Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. "Come," Jesus said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. And beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they had climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." When they have crossed over the land, they landed at Gennesaret. And when the men of that place recognized Jesus, they sent word to all the surrounding country. People brought all their sick to him and begged him to let the sick just touch the edge of his cloak, and all who were touched were healed. So Jesus went to that land and was healing all the sick people there. But what's interesting, Jake, you're the one to bring it up. Do you want to give your take on it?
Yeah, I'll, that's really important to not look away from Christ, first of all. Mm-hmm. I think that's really what the story is about, but I think we can apply that to a lot of different things in our lives. And just generically, you have your goals, you have your aspirations and things you want to do. I think you need to identify them, and you need to look at them, and you need to follow them, and you need to have belief in yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you look away from your goals, like Peter looked away from Christ and he looked at the storm, mm-hmm. and he lost his faith and he began to sink. Yeah. And that's when Jesus saved him. And I think that's directly correlated. If you're looking away from your goals and you're not thinking about what you want to do, then you're not going to make the right decisions to get to where you need. You're not going to make the right decisions to take the correct steps to get to where you want to be. It's really important to identify your goals and identify what you want to do and the things you aspire to do. identify them, write them down, physically write them down. I think that's really helpful for me. I've taken notes both episodes, and I cannot stop. I would ramble about nothing if I didn't have my notes. But identify them, write them down, and look at them every single day. And then it'll become a lot easier to make the right decisions to get to where you need to be.
I'll just agree with him.
Okay, I like how you were saying, it's kind of like keep your eyes on the prize type deal. Because Jesus, I mean, he's the ultimate prize. He's our ultimate savior. He died on the cross so we get the chance to go to heaven. But so it's always great to have your eyes on him. But if we look at, I guess you would say worldly things. If you look at your life here on earth and you have a goal, whether that goal be go spread the gospel to someone, whether that goal be lose weight, whether that goal be let me go get this promotion, whatever it is, you need to stay constantly focused on that. So like my goal right now in my life is go run that marathon. So I'm always trying to keep my eyes on it, try to stay focused on it, and all that good stuff. But it's very easy. It's very easy to take your eyes away from that goal into that quote unquote storm, or as in this story as the storm, because the storm's scary. All this outside pressure is scary. For Peter's instance, I mean, I can't imagine getting out on that water and you're sitting there. First of all, you're walking on water. Who has ever done that before? I mean, that's a crazy thing to think about, that he's actually walking on water. And he sees Jesus, and he's like, oh my goodness, I'm out here doing this thing. Let me focus on him. But there's these other things coming in. These other things are temptation. These other things are outside stuff that you can't control. I mean, it's all these other quote unquote bad things that are coming into your life. Well, what if I look at them? What if I indulge in that for a little bit? And that sets you back. First of all, in Peter's case, it can kill him. I mean, he's drowning right there. He can die right there if Jesus wasn't there to save him. But it'll set you back. It'll knock you off your goal. If I take my eyes off the marathon goal, well, let me just go back to running 2 miles a day. I'll take a break today. That's going to set me back, and that's going to hurt me in the long run a lot more than it feels good right now. Because it may feel good in the moment. It may feel good not working right. Let me just rest right now. Let me take this rest day and not be productive. Let me put my work off another hour. Let me put my work off another week. Let me put off this responsibility, this job I have to do. Let me put it off again another week. But it may feel good, but it's just going to hurt you in the long run. You got to keep your eyes on the goal. Keep your eyes on the prize, so to say, and really stay focused. Because if you have faith that you're going to complete this goal, like how we were saying earlier, if we work hard, we're going to succeed. I mean, at least that's just in my experience.
You can do anything and succeed. I firmly believe that you can do anything and you can find success in it if you follow it passionately.
You give me that word, bro.
Yeah.
And I want to say that the storm isn't only temptations that you may face. The storm may just be whatever you're worried about outside forces that are giving you anxiety. Like it's tax season for me, or for everybody. But I'm a 1099 employee, so I actually I pay my taxes at the end of the year, and that's been stressful for me. I mean, I'm prepared for it. It's just stressful to have to do, and that's thrown me off. And I thought about that this morning. I saw a TikTok of the story of Peter in the Sea of Galilee, and I kind of related it to how I was feeling right now, and that's kind of why I didn't want to work out this morning. I was a little stressed and anxious. But like we talked about last week, I gave up that anxiety and was grateful for the things that I do have. Where was I going? I don't know.
Reel it in.
It's somewhere.
We'll get better at that.
We'll
get better at cleaning up our points.
I have another thing though while I'm there.
Okay.
That was just kind of I looked at the storm a little bit this morning.
Yeah.
What I was really just getting at is that I was worried about that, and that almost influenced me to not work out, but I got it done.
Mm-hmm.
And do not be the guy on the boat watching Peter.
Yeah.
Don't be the guy on the boat watching Peter. Because it would have been easy to be the guy on the boat watching Peter walk on water.
Mm-hmm.
And they told him not to, if I remember correctly. They told Peter not to leave the boat because, you know, everything is telling you not to leave the boat, the storm and the raging waters.
Yeah.
But Peter had faith and he stepped out of the boat. And imagine in that moment, like really imagine being the guy on what's probably a really rinky, not very safe boat that is way too deep into raging waters than it ever should be. Imagine being the guy on the boat watching Peter get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That would suck. I don't want to be the guy on the boat.
Yeah.
I want to be Peter. I want to get out there.
And actually doing it.
And we look at it like that's Jesus. We would do that, but would we though? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's just kind of like look at it. It's like a lot of times we hear people in the Bible like maybe not having much faith in Jesus, or like this in this situation, Peter. You know, he was like very iffy about it, and he took his eyes off Jesus, and we would be like, man, we would keep our eyes on Jesus. You know, we know who Jesus is, but it's very much different in the
Hindsight's
situation.
20/20, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I like how you said that. It was like, well, if we were in that instance, we would be looking at Jesus. Well, this reminded me of what Andrew was preaching Sunday. He was preaching about the least of these. I listened to his sermon when I was running because I was downstairs with the kids. But I was listening to his sermon, and he talked about the least of these. Anything we do for the least of these, we do for him. So if we're helping out some guy on the side of the road or whatever, I mean, we're doing it for him, right?
Yeah.
Or if we're helping out anybody, we're doing it for him. So when we have this encounter, it's like, well, if that was Jesus right there, I mean, I'd have kept my eyes on him. I would have helped him out.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have went there. But anything we do, we're doing it for him. So when we choose not to do things, we're choosing not to do things for him. You know? So
That's good.
So how you said that, because we always say this. Well, if Jesus was out on that water, if Jesus was sitting there sick and needing our help, if Jesus was hungry, I'd feed him. Well, what is it that we have a friend that's needing help and we choose not to help?
Yeah. Our own
If we
situations like that right
we have a hungry brother, or we have just in any instance, and we choose not to help out, are we really help? How can we say that we'd help Jesus but we wouldn't help them? So,
Very hypocritical to
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
help others. I really like that.
Yeah. No, that was a good sermon. I'd recommend going back and listening to that if anybody would want to. Rice Station Christian Church YouTube page. The 19th? No. What day is that? 16th. February 16th message. February 16th message.
I was gonna tell you, you should definitely shout out your TikTok.
My TikTok?
on here. That way,
I'll do it at the end.
Yeah, whenever. So, yeah.
Tell me,
Don't
boys.
be the guy on the.
Don't be the guy on the boat. I like that.
Man, I just had a spider crawl in my ear.
Spider?
Something went in my ear. I mean,
Was it your hair potentially?
I thought it was, but it just kept going farther and farther back. So
Hopefully not.
yeah, hopefully not.
No.
That's random, but I just wanted to pretty much explain to the guy people watching, like they see me like digging at my ear and crap, like my eyes get real big. Something just went in my ear, so we'll see.
It's alright.
We'll see.
At
That's
the
the
beginning of the last episode, Gabe said, I've still got this crap in my pants.
He's got what?
He said, I've still got this crap in my pants. It
Oh,
had a little pocket light.
Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah.
And I apologize if my dog is making too much noise in the background. He got a little upset for a second, but I think we're good now.
That'll be a good TikTok clip right there.
That would
The
be a
spider.
pretty good TikTok clip.
Because I had 2 people bring that up to me about the or maybe just one. I might have just had one person bring it up to me about the TikTok clip I posted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
We need to
I
make
like
our
that.
own TikTok. I need to do that. I'll do that this evening.
I'll
try
get
to
on
do
it.
this evening.
What's our next topic that you got written down?
Well, I don't have one, but
You don't have one?
but we can dig in a little bit more.
All right.
That's right.
Where can we dig in?
Well, about the confidence thing, if we're gonna be, talking about self-help, you want to go in on it, or
No,
want me to
you
on
go
it?
ahead. I'm gonna
If we're, our main goal here, what was our mission statement from last week? Flip it over.
flip it over big time.
What was our mission statement?
We want to be a resource for anyone interested in self-improvement and provide an education stream of self-improvement system.
So self-improvement, I mean, how are you going to improve if you don't have confidence, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing, is having confidence in yourself. I want to tell a little story today about us at the men's warehouse.
Uh-oh.
There was these purple pants on the rack, and they were $5, and I'm like, I could rock them if I really wanted to. And Noah's like, no, them look awful.
I'm just looking out for you, man.
But just like things like that, you gotta have confidence in yourself when you wear clothes like that. But anyhow, I don't know where I was going with that, but I just wanted to bring that up. The purple pants at the men's warehouse. But
man, you better have confidence wearing those things.
Just to put them on, you got some confidence. If you can put them on, you can make it work.
yeah,
I bet.
but I don't know. We put them suits on there, and I had some confidence in myself.
Dude, I was very satisfied seeing y'all in the suits. It made me feel a lot better about my suit choice. I think we're going to look sharp.
I think the
Come
color
May
is
13th.
nice. May 13th sounds like a fight date or something.
5 days.
Speaking of fights, let me tell a story.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Thursday night, I was at the Madison Garden. We have our weekly coaches meeting there. I coach middle school football, and we all the coaches would get together and we'd go eat out. We'd all go eat out, and we've been going to the Madison Garden, but we were sitting there. And one of the guys get up to go use the bathroom, and all of a sudden, this one guy shoves another dude. And then next thing you see, fist starts flying. I just see this bar fight break out. I'm like, what is going on? But anyhow, this guy got knocked out, and then Prude and Braxton got up there and broke it up. And I just kind of sat off to the side. I'm like, I ain't getting involved in that.
Scary.
I ain't going to get my head beat in. But,
No.
But anyhow, speaking of fights, that was my experience this week.
So, I do want to talk. I'll share a little bit. I've had a little bit of doubt around me, and I won't get into any specifics on what about or who it was, but it was somebody pretty close to me, and I didn't have any doubts about it until I heard their doubts, and then I was like, it sent me down a whole spiral because I didn't have the confidence at the time or the belief in myself. And getting out and doing it anyway, that mentality, that's how you build that confidence around yourself and your belief in yourself. Whenever that person doubted what I could do, it
Put a fire under you.
It partially motivated me. A lot. There was a lot of motivation, but at the same time, there was a whole lot of like, oh crap, I may not be able to do this. And I've been doing it now for a little bit. I've succeeded, at least I believe so. And that person was definitely wrong, and I was not sure if they were going to be wrong at the time. And now I'm sure about it, and I've built a lot of confidence in myself, my abilities at work, my abilities just in general. Happened a couple times. I mean. I was told my truck broke down whenever I was like 16, and I needed to work on it. I didn't really have the money to take it to a shop and have them do all the work it needed. Yeah. And my girlfriend's dad was like, well, why don't you do that? Girlfriend at the time, about to be my wife now.
Speaking of the devil, she's walking up the driveway.
Oh, she's walking up the drive. I'll have to stop talking about her then. But anyway, her dad was like, why don't you just do that? And I was like, I don't have the tools. I don't have the resources. I don't have the knowledge. I don't think I can, but I definitely can't afford, and I was working at like Wendy's at the time. I was like, I definitely can't afford to take it to a shop and have them do it. I didn't want to ask my parents to help me pay for it because I'm more stubborn than that. Yeah. So, but eventually I did some learning, and I YouTube university'd it, and
it's the best college there is.
I watched a whole lot of YouTube videos, and I learned as much as I could, and I figured out how to do it. I bought the tools needed to do it, I bought the parts and I did it. And I really didn't think I was going to be able to do it. And there was a couple times while I was doing it that I doubted myself, and it was a ball joint. If anybody out there is mechanically inclined, ball joints aren't really that bad. They're they're definitely not fun, but they're not that bad. You can get them changed pretty quick if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It probably took me 8 hours the first time, and then I did ball joints on that truck like 3 more times, so I could change one in like an hour and a half probably.
Yeah.
That was before I ever bought power tools. But if you equip yourself and you just try, you give it an honest try, you will amaze yourself every time that you just try. You'll be really shocked by what you can do. And I kind of learned that everybody's just a person. Like you see people do stuff, or like a mechanic is just a person. And they're just a person with a job. You can do what they can do. You just have to learn how to do it, and you have to buy the right tools. And that definitely doesn't go for everything. Like if I had to do line work on power lines, I probably wouldn't try that.
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, I will leave that to the.
But you build that confidence in yourself, and eventually you keep building it up. And humility is a great thing. You know, I want to do jiu-jitsu just for the humility.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be really healthy for me to get my butt whooped, and that'd probably be a good check on me. But you don't want people's doubt to just shut you down. You gotta have at least the confidence to try. And whenever you do try, you will learn so much about yourself, and it becomes a lot easier to try and keep trying. And you just keep building that confidence up.
I gotta give a quick shout out to, I think y'all shouted him out last week, B. Williams.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in 8th grade, we were running our guts out, man. And he said, it was either him or John White, I'm pretty sure it was B. Williams, but he was like, what a guy. He was like whenever you think you've given all, like your all that you can do, you can't go anymore. You really got 60% left.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember that. Golly, I remember that.
Seal rule, ain't it?
Sure, I'm gonna be reciting that about an hour and a half into my run tonight.
The 40% rule.
That's right.
He would say that a lot, wouldn't he?
He did.
Yes, sir,
yeah.
man.
Man, that is good advice now. Back then, I'm like, I just want to quit running.
Yeah, I don't want to go home.
But
Eat Doritos.
I'll never forget that. We were sitting there running and like, Pal Kenny ain't doing this. Pal Kenny's on the couch eating Twinkies and drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, good time.
But anyway, what were you saying about that, Noah?
Oh, I was gonna do it earlier, but I was trying to think of the numbers and stuff. I was like, I can't exactly remember what he said, but that's definitely advice I haven't took, because before, we had quite a few more years of running to do after that.
Yeah.
And we ran, I did not think about that. I'd have thought about, man, I'm fixing to fall over. But it's just, I think it's definitely easier to apply if I don't know, maybe in other stuff, but you just got to really get yourself grounded in it. And like you said, once you try and like figure out what you can do, it makes it easier and builds confidence and just makes you a better overall person, I guess, in everything you do. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying, I can't remember who I was talking to, if it was in one of my lessons or actually when I preached the other day, or maybe I was just thinking about it. But getting out and actually trying, that is the best thing that you can do for yourself.
The best teacher.
It's the best teacher. It's just go out and try. Try to do something new. Try to better yourself. Try to work on yourself. Because if I'm just going to sit here and not do anything, and you're just going to sit and sit and sit. If you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, you're just going to sit here. You got to try to get out of that. You can't just get out of that magically, or it's just not going to happen on its own. You actually have to make that first movement and try to get out of it. Like your truck, it wasn't going to get fixed on its own.
Yeah.
You had to try to learn it. You had to try to get there and get the abilities to do it. So just trying.
It's oh man, I had something. I should have wrote it down. I should have wrote it down. Getting out and trying though, it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Can't improve if you don't.
You'll learn a lot by failing.
Yeah.
Because
There's a lot of quotes on that. Just take my advice for it. I'm a history teacher,
A lot
so
of quotes
there's
on
a
that.
lot of quotes on that.
Well, we got any stories we want to tell that happened to us this week from last time?
From last time.
Well, for you last time, but since last time, I guess is what.
Mm.
You got anything interesting happening this
That's what you
week?
meant. Me? No, dude. I just enjoyed kind of a laid back week with the snow and everything. And, well, I enjoyed it, but a lot of people didn't enjoy it with their houses getting flooded and stuff.
I know it.
So, yeah.
We've been blessed that, or at least my family, or I guess all of our families, that we live in areas that don't get affected by that. But some other people aren't as lucky.
Yeah.
It hit a lot of people, that flood did. And I'm just very grateful for what I have, and it didn't affect me none. Besides, well, it didn't, just to be honest with you. I'm very grateful for that. Not a lot of people can say that.
I do want to talk about analysis paralysis, kind of what you, that's, I lost it, but I found it. It's analysis paralysis. I'm really bad about it. I'm really bad about it.
Can I get a definition of that? What is
So
it?
analysis paralysis, that's, I was gonna get there,
Oh,
but
okay.
you're thinking about what you're wanting to do more than you're doing what you want to do.
Okay.
And you paralyze yourself because
Okay.
you're obsessing over every single detail. And I was doing that with the whole podcast. I mean, this has been like, I thought about having a podcast probably a year ago. I just didn't know what it wanted to be. And then one day I called Dad and TJ Maxx in Winchester with Raina, and we were talking. He mentioned he wanted to start a podcast. I was like, man, I do too. And then we set up a meeting. That was probably 5 weeks ago. And we set up a meeting time so that we could talk about how we would start our podcast. And he was making progress quicker than I was, and he's getting out, doing DoorDash and stuff, and talking about that. And I was falling back into analysis paralysis. I was just looking, and I'd had the thought to ask you if you wanted to co-host with me. And I text you, and you're like, when are we gonna shoot?
Yeah.
And we got a camera out, and we're sitting in front of the camera. We got a little microphone here, and now we're doing it. I wouldn't have gotten this far. It probably would have taken like a year, if it even happened, if I hadn't involved you. And I'm really bad about analysis paralysis. I'm really bad about it. Just.
I would say, Gabe, you're probably the opposite of that. I'm not gonna lie.
He is.
You're the type of guy that, I mean, as long as I've known you, well, especially the last couple of years, you've just been on the gun with stuff, you know.
Your confidence has definitely been a lot higher.
Yeah, I've tried to be a more confident person. If I've got something to do, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, this is like, well, when you want to do it, it's like, well, we'll do it tomorrow if you want to. Like that type of. Because I think it's best to just, if you're in the moment, if you have an idea in the moment that's creative, or just do it. Just go ahead and do it. If you want to do something, just go ahead and do it. What's the point of putting it off? Because we're not promised tomorrow.
Yeah, and you'll fail along the way, and you'll figure out, whenever you fail, you'll figure out what you did wrong, and then you fix it, and you keep moving forward. You just keep moving forward. And that's really important too, is like, we're probably going to have some failures with this. Last time we had a failure, the camera wasn't set up right.
Yes.
You figured out, and now we've had our camera. It's been
it's
right
been
there.
Steady the whole
It's
time.
been
It's
right
not been
there
moving
this whole
us.
time, and that's we've already improved, and that's an improvement that I couldn't have made without just going. And another thing is, we far too often, I think this could apply to everyone. You suffer in your mind more than you ever suffer in reality. So I'll even do this at work. Like you're saying, just you've got stuff to do, just do it. Just get it done. Like somebody come to me and they need a hole drilled in a really precision location and to mount something.
Yeah.
And it has to be really precise, or it's not going to work, and we'll have to figure out a way around it. And I'll sit there and I'll think about it and think about it and think about how I'm going to do it. If I just jump in it and figure it out and do it, it always works out better. Because whenever you have that time, it just takes half a second for you to doubt yourself.
Yeah.
And once you start doubting yourself, it's really hard to stop. That is really hard to correct.
Yep.
and you'll suffer in your mind more than you actually would by just doing it. I've always done that with my workouts, my runs, going to class whenever I was in school. Just going, like getting in the car and going to class in the morning. You think about it the night before, and you're like, that's going to suck. I'm going to be tired. I do this now with work. Like if I get to bed late, I'm already thinking about how bad tomorrow's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I'll have slept less. And rarely is that really the case. I just think about it, and then I've got all this anxiety built up on it. And sometimes I don't even think about it in the morning. I just go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized halfway through my day I was worried over nothing.
Yeah.
I've really struggled to improve that, but I think I've definitely gotten a little bit better at it.
I deal with that. My mom has been on me pretty much since I've been in college, and I really need to I've got better about it, but it's like, especially with major assignments, it's like I'm a big procrastinator of those things. So it's just like, just do it when you have time, do it whenever you can fix it or whatever it may be. But if you put it off to the last second, you may or may not. It could probably turn out worse than if you just did it beforehand. Give yourself some time, because I found myself a lot of times just like, too many times, really like just having like maybe a 5-page paper due the next day, and I'm like,
I gotta write 5 pages tonight.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's definitely some people, like, another shout out to my, the guy I'm actually, my teacher at Central that I'm student teaching under. He talked about, he's a history teacher, but he teaches a psychology class for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But he talked about how he thrives in the last minute, and that's whenever he does his best work. He talked about how he knocked out like 10 or 15 pages of a paper in one afternoon. So I'm like, I guess some people can do that, and some things I guess you can do that, but if it's major stuff especially, but just procrastinating something that I feel like kills a lot of people's potential and stuff, because if you wait till the last second, you really can't maybe do everything you wanted to. You're just trying to get it done quick before you have to get it turned in, or I guess that goes with a lot of the things, and like Gabe saying a couple times, I kind of don't know where I'm going with that, but other than procrastinating is like something that kills your potential, I feel like. So, yeah.
I was really bad about it in high school. I couldn't get anything done until it was due at 11:59 that day, and then I was like, okay, I can knock this out. I was always jealous of Mr. Knob. Funny enough, he's actually not here, so he can go study.
Yeah, we invited him on. He's like, I gotta go study for my science stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what words you're saying right now. I'm saying all these terms and stuff.
Vertebrates and stuff.
I don't know.
I think it's pretty cool. I think
Indeed,
I think he'll excel.
I think he'll do great with it. I really do, because
smartest fella I know.
Yeah, he's big into all that science stuff. I think he'll do good with it. But like we were saying with procrastinating, I'm guilty of being a big time procrastinator. Here recently, this past semester, what are we, week 6, going into week 6?
Yep, going by quick.
These past 6 weeks of this semester, I haven't really been real bad at it, but a lot of times I have a assignment due on Sunday night at midnight. I'll do it Sunday afternoon type deal. I've done that my whole college career for the past 2.5 years I've been in college. But here recently, I find myself, I'll get home Monday afternoon when it's assigned. I'll do it Monday afternoon, or I'll do it Tuesday afternoon. I'll do it earlier in the week. Then the rest of the week, like yesterday, I didn't even open up my laptop to do schoolwork because I had everything done that I needed to have done. Oh crap! I just remembered. I do not have everything done. I need to peer review a paper either tonight or tomorrow. I'll probably do it tomorrow afternoon. But anywho.
Now, Gabe.
Now look at me. But I found myself doing. That's just one assignment. I would do all of my assignments Sunday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
But now I found myself being able to space it out more. And that gives me more freedom, like, through the rest of the week. Like, today, we went out, we've basically spent the whole day together, and I haven't even worried about getting any work done. Or, it's like yesterday, I didn't open up my laptop once, because I could just sit and chill and relax today, and just, because I already had all my responsibilities done.
You earned it.
And we kind of talked about that earlier. It's like, well, once you get your responsibilities done, it's just peace almost.
Yeah.
It's just happiness that you can just chill for a little bit and not have to worry about it. But I've been a big time procrastinator, and I've really tried to work on it. There's a lot of things, a lot of aspects of my life that I really can work on it a lot more. But in schoolwork, I think I've done a decent job this semester trying to fix that a little bit. And I think this us talking, sitting down here talking, is going to help that a lot.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, it's there's a lot more satisfaction whenever you get to enjoy the things that you like to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you've earned the right to do that.
Yep.
Like a lot of people, a lot of people just don't work out at all, and they eat out all the time, and it's not even it's not even satisfying whenever you fall into that. You actually you hate.
Yep.
You hate it.
I feel that right now.
Kills you.
I mean, I'm kind of struggling with
Like
that
you go
myself.
out and eat, and then you just do not feel good after.
Yeah.
You feel like crap, and you're mad at yourself for doing that again. It's just better if you go out, you do some hard work, and then you go out and you earn your fun.
Yeah.
You'll feel better about it, and
Yep.
you won't carry that guilt around of like, well, I haven't done this and I haven't done this, and then you fall into self-pity and everything's against you. It's you versus the world, which in a little bit it is, but not everything's wearing you down all the time, like people seem to think often.
Yeah.
And you did mention how we've spent the day together a little bit, and I don't want to talk about it too much, but I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
You,
Appreciate you
Noah, Mr. Knopp, who's not here, bum. But I really.
He's grinding. He's got his
He's
nose to the
grinding.
grindstone,
I
as Mr.
know.
Bonnie says.
But
What do you got? Shout out Mr. Bonnie. I'm a big shout out guy.
hey, we were big shout out guys. We shouted out a lot.
That's right. Yeah.
But
You got to shout people out, man. It makes you feel better. At least for me.
really, you guys have shaped the person that I've become. You've had a big hand. All three of you have had a really unique
Yep.
impression on me. Like all three, very distinct and very unique. And Gabe, you were my iron for a long time. We sharpened one another. And now you're someone that I really aspire to be like. You've kind of got that Goggins mentality nowadays, and I'm a little envious of it. And I'll admit, Noah, you were always like just so easygoing, and you're just a great person. You're a really solid guy, and I always looked up to that. I've always felt like a piece of crap whenever I'm around you, honestly. And Caleb he always challenged me in school and in class. I was always trying to beat him and get a better test score than he did. And
Never happened either.
I'd probably, no.
Caleb would always beat
I
me.
beat him sometimes.
Well, it never happened for me. It never happened for me. Sorry, it never happened for me.
Listen, we competed with one another, but he was definitely the guy I was always trying to beat, and he taught me a lot about working out when we were kids, and you guys were all really big influences on me, and I really appreciate everything you've done for me. I was a hard person to be around there for a while. I definitely feel guilty for that. And
I just thought of something, man. I just thought about like 4th or 5th grade. It was. This is just kind of like a side topic, I guess, or not even a side topic, just a random story. But you're talking about being around you. It just reminded me randomly of the time, like in 4th or 5th grade, you said you had moved to Colorado or something, dude.
oh yeah,
Gosh, dude, that was
kind of
tough.
funny now.
Yeah, it was funny. It's funny now. Back then, dude, I was tore up.
No, I have no clue why I was like that.
Nah, I'm not saying like you're like that. I was just saying just a random.
I was weird. I was a weird kid.
Hey, man.
Gabe thought I was poor. I mentioned that twice now. We've only done 2 episodes.
That's got to be a reoccurrence now.
Yeah, you guys are definitely my support group and my accountability partners.
No, I wasn't. Just
Come on,
to
Noah.
clarify right now, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus from being like a
It's all
liar
right.
or something.
It's all right.
I was just saying,
It's
just a
all right.
random story.
I'll be the punching bag. It's all good.
No, dude.
I'm used to being a punching bag nowadays.
I'm just, I don't know, it's just a funny story. You're talking about, us being your, and Gabe for a while being your kind of like iron sharpens iron type of guy. shout out to Mr. Knott too, because for me, whenever I ran track, the type of runner I am, I was like, I can run 100 meters, 150, but after that, I'm gonna start slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got great endurance. I've always been a big pop guy, still am to this day. But John O'Hare, shout out to John.
John's good.
He's a dog, man, and him and Knott too. I mean, I've always been like in the 100-meter faster than them, but once it gets past that, I mean, they can smoke me. And in practice every day, if they weren't there, I'd find myself not pushing myself. But whenever they were around me, man, that really worked me like a dog, and that made me better. And us together, I guess shout out to the 2022 track team. So we won the region. I mean, us together, we really, pushed off each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think Knopp, if he were here, he would agree. So, I mean, that was kind of a random thing, but you were talking about, iron sharpens iron,
Yeah.
That was huge for me. I mean, I guess we should find ourselves, if we're in those situations, like, if we don't have anybody to push ourselves, we should, I guess, try to find that within ourselves to sharpen ourselves. That's all
It's
I
a
got.
lot easier to push yourself when you get out there.
Yeah.
Like, we did a football camp freshman year.
Yeah.
And some parts of football camp we will not talk about here.
I don't think I'll talk about it anywhere.
But football camp was probably the first time that I ever... No. I've got a vacuum in here.
You spit out?
He spit it on the floor. I watched it happen. Can't take this guy anywhere.
No, it's fine.
Back to my serious topic. Football camp.
That's the TikTok clip.
Don't do it to me.
That was the first place where I.
Oh, Lord.
You're going to have to restart this story.
And maybe cut that out of the video,
But football camp was the first place where I learned how valuable doing hard things was.
Yeah.
I remember we ran 4 quarters.
Oh my goodness.
4 quarters sucks.
Oh, I hated that.
There's a lot I would do today to get out of doing 4 quarters.
Oh my gosh, that was awful.
We ran 4 quarters and it was like, I saw somebody quit and give up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I wanted to do that up until this point. And I saw that, and this is not a good thing for me to do, but I saw that and I was like, I can't do that.
Mm.
And I dug in and I finished that run, and that's probably the first successful practice I would say that I had in freshman year of football. And that started a lot of change for me. I didn't even really know what it was, but it was like something just clicked.
Yeah.
And then it got a lot easier to push myself, and I actually enjoyed those 2-mile runs we did at 7 a.m.
I'm glad you did.
No, I didn't really, but I did. A little bit.
Looking back at it,
it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome.
Looking back at it, that's such a cool thing to do. Get up as a team. If everyone buys in on it, not everyone's going to buy in on it, of course, because it's hard to get that many people, a group of 35 people, to buy in on one thing, to get up at 7 in the morning and go run 2 miles. But the amount of camaraderie that would build if everyone's bought in on it is insane. That everyone's like, hey, let's go get up here at 7 in the morning. Let's go work hard. Let's go out on this beautiful trail. Because, it's out in the...
That was really pretty.
Out in the woods. You're running through farmland.
Old hills of Eastern Kentucky.
It's beautiful. And I remember looking out, and I'm like... And even back then, I hated running it. Because it sucked at it. But I can remember looking out to my right and seeing this farmland and the fog kind of settling in, the dunes settling in. I'm like, this is beautiful.
The sun starts to rise.
This is awesome. But those 2-mile runs, I hated it now, but I look back and I'm like, man, I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the football camp runs?
Yeah, football camp.
Yeah.
Went out there. What camp did we go out to?
Aldersgate.
Aldersgate. Yeah, we went out to Aldersgate.
Them cabins or something else.
That was
Chicken wire walls looking outside.
Chicken wire walls. Yeah, that was like sleeping in a daggum chicken coop. Had
Man, dude.
JD Knopp in there terrorizing me. And Wyatt. Oh.
Shout out Wyatt.
Shout out Wyatt,
Shout out
bro.
Wyatt, yeah. Solid dude. Good dad.
But anywho, we won't tell too many stories from that camp.
We'll move on from football camp rather quickly.
But
Going back to earning something, though. We did that camp, and then we had that one night where families came out.
oh my
and
gosh,
we did
that was fun.
Dude,
We did that
was-
cookout with our family, dude.
That was fun.
There was not. It was weightless doing that.
Yeah.
Like, there was no doubt of having earned that moment and that fun, and that there was no guilt with. I would feel guilty a lot of times whenever stuff like that was done for me or a group that I was a part of, because I was like, somebody worked and like there's money and effort that's gone into this.
Made all this food.
And I was like, I didn't deserve that at all.
Yeah.
You know, I really probably didn't. But I didn't feel that then. And I was like, I've done some work this week, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. The legendary deer call. It's not as funny as we thought it was.
That's still hilarious. I love it.
I don't think so.
I think that's hilarious.
It's funny you talked about. You said the cookout, and the first thing that came to my mind was
Come
that.
here, deer.
Yeah.
And us going off in the creek and screwing around that day in the
Dude.
creek.
It's fun.
Let's not forget the good old mud wrestle.
No, let's
Maybe we
forget.
can't forget about that.
See, you know
you weren't in the pit.
You know how we've been saying there's stories we're not going to talk about.
That's
that's
one
one
of
of
them.
them.
That's
Yeah,
one of them.
That's the
Oh.
one of them. So.
I apologize.
That's
I apologize. I thought you guys were talking about
That
something
video
else.
No, it's all good.
is on YouTube. I'm not going to say how to find it.
No,
but
you shouldn't have even said that.
cut that out.
Cut that out.
But anywho,
Mr. Knopp, cut that out.
Mr. Knott, please cut that out, producer man.
The nod over there.
But Noah, you watch SpongeBob? Anywho,
Getting to the funny segment, I guess.
what's our next topic? Do we have any
I
more
don't know.
topics we want to talk about?
When did you need to be done? I mean, I'm having fun.
Soon.
Soon?
I think soon.
Well, how long are we gone? We need to get a timer in here. So
We've gone over an hour.
We've done over an hour?
Because I remember I looked down one time and it was 3:30.
I hope so.
How
This
y'all,
isn't an hour.
how y'all feel? Y'all want to wrap up?
I think we can wrap up. I think we've hit on some good topics today. Let's do a little closing point here. You know how we talked about the story with Peter and Jesus walking on the water, keeping your eyes on the prize and keeping your eyes on the thing, on your goal. Just our main topic was accountability partners, and we hit on it a good bit.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that if you don't have a group of people, that was my slip of the tongue.
I know.
But if you don't have a group of people that can hold you accountable, that can help you grow, find that group of people.
Yeah, push yourself to find that and keep in mind who you have around you.
Mm-hmm.
Show me your 5 friends and I'll show you your future. I love
Yeah.
that quote.
Andrew Farmer, he always said, the 5 people closest around you, you have characteristics of them, of each person in your group. So say, I have characteristics of you and me, I have characteristics of you and me, and that's just surround yourself with good people. And what was our other goal or our other thing? Just if you have a
do it anyway mentality.
Do it anyway
Get
mentality.
It done. It's
Don't-
better when it's done.
don't be the guy on the boat watching, be the guy
Don't
doing
be
it.
the guy on the boat.
But other than that, we have anything else? Noah, thanks for joining us
I
today.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
proud of you.
Apologize for that. That laugh.
It's
I had.
okay.
I know this
It's
was
okay.
I know
It'll
this
be a
was
good
kind of
clip.
hard for you to get in front of the camera, but
I'm not really. I guess the last time I was in front of a camera was probably that news.
Yeah.
news-
but I'm
the
glad you were able to come help
Yeah,
us
I
out
enjoyed
today
being
and
around.
get on here.
It's
So,
good.
any closing remarks you got? No, anything you want to shout out? You want to shout out yourself?
What?
You want to shout out yourself? You want to shout out?
Shout out to the drawer on the desk.
Nah, just Jesus. Jesus loves
Shout
you.
out Jesus.
Amen.
That's what I was going to close with. Is
Yeah.
that we love you. Jesus loves you, and be good to your brother.
Be good to your brother. Let's wrap this up. Thanks, guys.
Sorry again, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Be good to your brother. Love you.